right, hi everybody, welcome back. Attorney Steve Vondra, and we are back with another exciting episode of Litigation Whiteboard. Okay, we are talking today about civil contempt. I hope you guys are all doing great. I hope you're staying away from that nasty virus. I hope you're being good out there. Let's head to the Attorney Steve Litigation Whiteboard. All right, we are back. So this video talks about contempt. Contempt of court, civil contempt. What is that? Okay, in a nutshell, when a judge issues an order, if you have knowledge of it, the ability to obey it, and you willfully disobey it, you can be held in contempt of court, and another party can basically file a motion, or the judge can do it on his own motion if you're violating. But let's head to the litigation whiteboard. So how does this pop up, the civil contempt? Let's talk about the context of injunctions, okay? An injunction is when one party stops another party from doing something, or they get an order from the judge telling another party to affirmatively do something. So there's two types of injunctions. There's prohibitive. That's where you're prohibiting something like stop infringing, okay? Like that could be an order. And there's mandatory. That's where you're telling somebody to do something. Tear down that wall, mandatory injunction, okay? So you have two different types of injunction. And also, as in regards to injunctions, you have the preliminary. This is when the case first starts, and you have to show irreparable harm. There's 4 factors. I'm not going to go over them all, but you have to show irreparable harm. So what happens? Let's say somebody's filing a lawsuit right here. Let's say they're filing a lawsuit for copyright infringement, and they say to the judge, this guy's got his stuff, my photos, my videos, my lyrics, everything, my music, all over their website. I want an injunction, preliminary injunction. I'm losing money. So you can see, you can file a lawsuit, and along with it, you can file for an injunction, okay? And usually your complaint's going to ask for an injunction, but you're going to be seeking a preliminary injunction, and that will go through till the case ends. When the case ends, if you win, you can get a permanent injunction back down over here, okay? You can get a permanent injunction. We'll draw that with a P. So this is what could happen. You could get into a case. Judge issues a valid order. Let's just call it a valid order. And it says, stop infringing the copyright. And you say, okay, well, there's several copyrights. So you look at the terms, okay? You look at the terms of the injunction. Are they clear? Are they specific? Are they ambiguous? Okay? Because in order to hold somebody in contempt, you have to find them in violation of the terms. You have to be able to make the clear case to the judge that this is what the injunction said. It was a valid order. It was not vague. And they willfully disobeyed down here. Willfully disobeyed. Okay, there's your magic words. You don't want to willfully disobey an order that you have the ability to comply with. So those are the general factors. So you get the injunction. This gets served on the other parties. You always want to serve all the other parties in the case. And anybody that is subject to the injunction. It could be the defendant and their representatives, or it could be their subsidiary companies, whatever the case may be. So you want to see that. You want to serve that on everybody. That puts them on notice, okay? That puts them on notice of the injunction, and then they need to comply with it, okay? They need to then comply with it. So here we have it in California. This is general legal information only, not legal advice. And we have CCP, Code of Civil Procedure, Section 1209. What one party can do is they can say, Judge, we got the injunction. It said, do not infringe our copyrights, and they are infringing. Now, this party can file what's called an OSC, an order to show cause. You can file a motion saying, Judge, they did not file this. I want to seek my costs and my attorney fees and my costs, and there could also be jail time. Jail time if you're willfully disobeying a court order. So you never want to do that. Okay, that's first thing, is you never want to do that. Willfully disobeying. So the other party can file a motion. The court can hold what's known as a contempt proceeding, and your motion needs to show that we had a valid order. We had served it, notice, they had the ability to comply, they willfully disobeyed. You can do that with facts and a declaration. Now, I want to point this out down here, okay? because this is considered to be quasi-criminal. Quasi-criminal, that means it's kind of like a criminal proceeding. Well, what does that mean to you if you're a defendant in one of these injunction proceedings, contempt proceedings? That means you have a presumption of innocence, and they have to prove your willful disobedience and the elements that we just discussed beyond a reasonable doubt. That is a criminal court standard, beyond a reasonable doubt. So they're going to have to hit that high standard. Now, you may come up here and say, that's what I have here, a presumption of innocence beyond a reasonable doubt. You may come to the judge and say, Judge, it said I shall not infringe their copyrights. This is a trademark. Why didn't they be more specific and say my copyrights and trademarks and intellectual property on this website and that? And why weren't they more specific? Judge, the ambiguities should be construed in favor of me, not them. Okay, and it wasn't, now you're playing with fire here a little bit because you have a judge that issued an order, but a lot of times these orders are prepared in advance by the opposing party, the same party that filed the lawsuit, okay? So they should have maybe been a little more specific. So that is the higher standard that you need to show to hold somebody in contempt. And again, it's a higher standard, it's quasi-criminal, they have to have notice of the order. It's not vague, you know what was prohibited, you had the ability to comply, and you willfully disobeyed beyond a reasonable doubt. That's civil contempt in a nutshell. Every state's going to have its own rules, federal court, whatnot. But now you know a little bit more about civil contempt proceedings, more than your average bear, okay? So thanks for watching. Have a great weekend. I got to get I hear my wife calling me, so I got to get down and chat with her. But have a great week. I hope this is helpful. This is Litigation Whiteboard with AttorneySteve.com. If you need help, you know where to find us on the web at AttorneySteve.com, the first name in legal services. Bye now. Have a great day.